Max appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $500,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com.
Henna Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
Together, let's drive.
Earl Campbell here for my good friends at Austin Shoe Hospital. Austin Shoe Hospital has been repairing my favorite boots and shoes for over 30 years. They are the best Western boot repair company in Texas and can repair any boot, brand, or style. Visit the master cobblers at Austin Shoe Hospital, and they will bring all your shoes, boots, and bags back to life. If you wear it, they can repair it. Oh, yes, and hook 'em horns.
Visit AustinShoeHospital.com.
It is tough to go outside these days. Hey, that's understandable given how hot it is. But there is definitely a way to beat the heat. A trip to Inner Space Caverns in Georgetown. Inner Space Caverns is a great place to take the family. You'd be amazed at all of the beautiful formations, large rooms, prehistoric animal bones, and all kinds of creations with a truly unique discovery story right here in the Austin area in the year-round temperature of a very comfortable 72 degrees. You can check out the super exciting saber-tooth zip ride or pan for gemstones, take the wild cave tour or the hidden passages tour, and there's a great souvenir gift shop and newly remodeled restrooms. Get out of the house, but get out of the heat and get some fresh air underground. Inner Space Caverns, right off I-35 at exit 259 in Georgetown. That's Inner Space Caverns. For more details, check them out on the web at innerspacecaverns.com. Inner Space Caverns. Check it out. Your adventure awaits.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horn. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Good morning, Kickoff. Good morning, Kickoff.
It's the Morning Kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Good morning, Austin, K-Town, Pflugerville, H-Town, Pearland,
Leander, and Silsbee, Texas.
or wherever you may be listening. This is a Way Back Wednesday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. The draft is tomorrow, and lives will change. Coach Sark met with the media one last time before the spring fling, as I like to call it, for Fan Day. Texas baseball created their own Slam Marcus. Danny Davis of the Austin American-Statesman will be joining us at 7:34. NBA action is heating up. Q Myers of Raiders Nation will be joining us from Green Bay at 8:17, and the possibility of what the Raiders might do. And will a Longhorn make an appearance in it? I am your host, Mike Hardball Hardge. My co-host is a WWE Hall of Famer and recognized as the world's strongest man. He is the Mark Henry.
Good morning, Austin.
And, of course, our guy Marcus is behind the boards. And if you want to be a part of the show, all you got to do is text the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. That's the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. And if you want to voice your opinion or have a chance to win a pair of tickets to go see Jason Aldean at the Moody Center, all you got to do is get over to that new and improved iHeartRadio app and tap that red microphone and leave us a message. Well, let's get right into it because Coach Sarkisian gets ready for what we like to call Fan Fest. It's going to be a fan day, fan appreciation, action-packed day that will be taking place this Saturday at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium. Admission is free, folks. So make sure you come out there. It'll be a big weekend on the 40 acres because not only is Fan Day happening and Fan Fest happening, they also have Texas baseball taking on Texas A&M this weekend. So it is going to be action-packed and busy as all get out. But Coach Sark met with the media for the final time in preparation for this weekend. And, of course, you know, he had to talk about his quarterbacks. He had to mention Jonah Williams. He had to let you know what exactly will be the plan for the spring game. But let's hear his opening statement.
Obviously in the final week of spring practice, and we really just want to maximize these final 3 days, which I thought we did a pretty good job of that with the start of it today. I think everybody in the organization has a thing, 2, 3, 10 that we can improve upon. And if we can really focus in on those things over the next few days, all the way through Saturday morning, I think we'll be at a lot better place come June when we come back and start our summer program as we get ready for fall camp. So it's been a good spring up into this point. A lot of guys have improved, but as I've said early on, and we never should be in spring, we're not a finished product, and nobody is as individuals. We're clearly not in any phase of our team right now. So we got work to do, but I appreciate the guys coming with the right intent like they did this morning.
And Sark, obviously one of the biggest questions was Arch Manning. What is he doing? He's been killing it. But the other quarterbacks, because you know as well as I do, throughout this time at the 40 acres, the most popular people have been the backup quarterbacks, but they've all had to play at some point. So what is it about these younger quarterbacks that stand out for Coach Sark?
You know, it's interesting to watch quarterbacks for us. And I always say this because I think Arch is kind of the epitome of this. But I'm learning now that we've had some scrimmages now that Trey and KJ fall into the same mold. There's guys that when you are warming up, man, they throw a pretty ball. And when you throw routes on air, man, they don't miss. They keep throwing it perfectly. And then they get into 7-on-7 and maybe the accuracy starts to diminish a little. And then you get into team periods and the footwork starts getting off and the ball's a little erratic. And then now you get into a game setting and their eyes start dropping and they're looking at the rush. These three guys we have right here are totally opposite. When we're in walkthrough, they're good players. I mean, they're okay. They're fine. When we're in routes on air, I'm all over their ass because I want more accuracy. We get into 7-on-7 that gets competitive and they start throwing a little better ball. We get into team, you can start to see the fire. But all three of these guys this spring have played their best when we've scrimmaged. That's a really good sign for us that their level of play, and Trey and KJ in particular, because I don't have as much information on them, their level of play does this. All of a sudden I saw KJ Lacey's mobility and athleticism show up in Thursday night scrimmage, and him extending plays and him coaching guys on the situations and him being a really vocal leader. I saw Trey Owens make a couple really good throws in critical moments that when we had to have it, he probably threw it better in that setting than he did in the individual routes period. And so that's a great sign for us. And so we can keep working on the nuances, the footwork, those things, but the competitive spirit is something that is hard to inject into somebody. And those two guys definitely have that.
Hard, you remember the good old days when they had the spring game?
Yeah, what about it?
And Trey Owens came in after Arch Manning, and he looked better than Arch, and everybody was like, oh, well, he got 5 or 6 more throws than Arch did. Everybody started making it. Trey Owens is not a bad quarterback.
Right.
He is very good. He can leave here tomorrow. Well, yeah, he can leave. The portal's still open. He can leave here and go and start at probably, I would say 70% of the top schools outside of the top 10.
You believe that?
I believe that. I believe he's that talented. He's big. I walked by him the other day, and I thought that he was smaller than that.
I get that, but I mean, just like anybody else, it takes time for you to be able to get on the field. You're not necessarily going to walk in as a starter, but again, it goes back to what we were talking about before. You have to be able to have quality guys behind. That's how you build championship teams.
Right.
You have to be able to I credit Coach Sark, Brandon Harris, AJ Milwee. I credit those guys for the evaluation process because remember, Trey Owens was a guy that a lot of folks didn't look at like that. He came in because Sark saw something in this young man. KJ Lacey, he broke all the records in Alabama. He was a guy that is super talented. I get that. But just like Arch Manning, there's a developmental process that has to happen. As Sark said, there's times you could go out there and you look beautiful throwing the ball. But what is your competitive nature? Yeah. What is going to happen when those things start flying at you and the game speed gets picked up? And what is going on? Because I don't care where you play.
You know I'm a half full guy. You saying this from a half empty standpoint.
Not necessarily.
Because when you just said it, your exact word was that Coach Sarkisian saw something in him.
Exactly.
If you don't trust him, if he see it.
But it's also developmental part of it. Because he's talented, yes. But you have to be developed. Because you just can't walk into the game.
I'm not a nutcase. I know you got to go through all the channels.
So
I'm saying that what I'm saying is that he has all the measurables, which people hold at more of a high regard sometimes than talent. The dude, I watched him in the spring game.
We saw a lot of people throw the ball good in the spring
beautiful. Game. And the ball didn't touch the ground. Remember that? He was perfect. So I'm wondering, like, why look at it from I don't know. They say the same thing about Arch.
Because the simple fact is when Arch went into the game, in a real game, when it really was coming at him, he didn't look as sharp. So there's going to be a developmental process that these guys have got to grow into because nobody walks in. Vince Young struggled. So when we sit here and we try to uplift all these people and crown them.
Why you do a lift thing?
Man, I'm just saying.
Well,
I'm just saying, like when we the one thing that I always try to make people understand is quit crowning people. Because as soon as we bring them up,
I don't think I crowned him.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying people. I said people.
Okay.
I didn't say Mark Henry. I didn't say Mark Henry.
Okay.
When people try to pick these kids and say, "Oh, this is the next one," it's like, wait a minute, man. Let these kids fail. Let these kids develop. It's like Jonah Williams. Everybody's so proud of Jonah. Good. But baseball is a hard game. He's going to have to develop. Because there is going to be struggles. We saw it with Arch. We saw it with Quinn. We saw it with every quarterback that has played at the University of Texas, and you could pick a school. They're going to struggle. But what Coach Sark just said is he sees their competitive nature, and that is what is the intangibles. Those are the things. It's like, okay, I can work with this. These dudes can
I'll take that too.
Yeah. You want to make sure that these guys are ready to roll. Coming up next, we're just getting started here on the morning kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. When we come back, the NBA, they call it fantastic, and I'm starting to really enjoy what I'm seeing right here on the morning kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone presents the Craig Way Show.
Life is Good by Joe Walsh.
Life's been good, but that's close enough for Joe.
You know, when I see that album cover, for some reason, he looks like Dale Earnhardt to me. With the mustache. Now, I haven't really seen what he looks like in person.
Right.
Back when it was.
Trust me, if Dale Earnhardt were alive today, he would not look like Joe Walsh. There's not many people look like Joe Walsh how he looks today. Trust me.
Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Some more details of that accident in Georgetown, I-35 southbound. All the lanes are closed down due to an accident at the Southeast Inner Loop, and you're already seeing over an hour of backup starting from Northwest Boulevard, so avoid this area if you can. Maybe hop over to 130 if that's possible. Also, a stalled vehicle blocks off the right lane, Mopac northbound at Steck. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Spring into deals with fresh savings at Lowe's. Right now, get 4 Stay Green or Premium 2 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. Lowe's, we help you save. While supplies last, selection and availability vary by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Offer valid 4/17/25 to 4/30/25.
Shop simple. It doesn't get any easier. You're looking for a new Ford. You don't have time to spend hours at the dealership. So Truck City Ford in Buda has made it simple. Go online. Pick yours at truckcityford.com. We can bring it to you for a home test drive. Once you determine it's perfect, you can arrange financing, value your trade, and sign all your paperwork digitally. Then simply tell us where and when you want to take delivery. Leif Johnson's Truck City Ford in Buda has made buying a new Ford simple.
Did you know Factory Mattress has over 6,000 5-star local reviews? Factory Mattress carries all the major brands at the guaranteed lowest price and has free next-day delivery and setup. But this week only, instead of charging you a pickup fee for your old mattress like other companies do, Factory Mattress is doing an exclusive $100 trade-in allowance, even if you didn't buy it from us. The best customer reviews and the lowest prices.
My Factory Mattress.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Tickets are on sale now, y'all, for our 2025 iHeart Country Festival, presented by Capital One, happening Saturday, May 3rd at the Moody Center in Austin, Texas. Don't miss your chance to see country music's biggest superstars. Tickets are on sale now. Ticketmaster.com.
Hey, Austin, this is Cameron Parker with big news. 2024 savings are ending. Customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right. Customers at Texas saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040. Or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Tariffs and your money? Well, we just offered our thoughts on the most recent episode of the How to Money podcast.
Let's say you do live in a state that gives you a tax break on $529. That's great, but don't invest those dollars once you put them in.
We're all about investing in a 529 plan. Typically, right? You want that tax advantage money to grow. But as you get close to needing to spend the money, de-risking is crucial.
In uncertain financial times, How to Money is here to help. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search How to Money, and start listening today.
This is your home for the Round Rock Express. 1300 the song.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300. Coming up next, we will have Danny Davis of the Austin American Statesman joining us. He will talk all things Texas football, and of course, we'll ask him about some Texas baseball. Following Danny Davis, we will talk a lot of Texas baseball as they went to San Marcos and handled their business and remain, number one team in the land. And now their focus is on Texas A&M. All right, let's get into it because the NBA, it has turned out to be fantastic. Last night, we had 3 games. The Pacers handled business against the Bucks, 123-115. OKC dominates Memphis once again, 118-99. And yes, Mark's Lakers finally get a victory, but it did come with some struggle over the T-Wolves, 94-85. Which game do you want to start with, Mark?
Let's start with the Lakers.
All right. So the Lakers end up winning that game 94-85 to even the series, 1 game apiece. But my question for the Lakers, you look at some of the complementary players that you have. Which one is going to deliver the most consistency for you to be able to compete against these Timberwolves? These Timberwolves are coming in on a mission knowing what they are up against when it comes to the Lakers. Julius Randle, 27 points. He did what he needed to do. I told y'all, and I'm going to continue to tell y'all, Anthony Edwards needs to move the basketball in order for the Timberwolves to be successful. He's a great, great basketball player. Great basketball player.
Oh, yeah. I like real.
But he is Luka Doncic ball control type of player.
Yeah.
The ball kind of stops with him. At one point, again, last night, there were 4 possessions where he dribbled the ball until there was like 10 seconds left on the shot clock. And then he tried to move the ball around and couldn't get to his spot, and then forcing other people to take shots. But then you look at what Luka was able to do. 9 of 20. He got to the free throw line, and that was the most important part. And that was the difference in the ball game, was Luka getting to the free throw line, because the team as a whole took 20 shots, 20 free throws. Luka had 11 of them. Luka had 11 of those free throws. So I know the Lakers are your team, but are you worried?
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried about their effort, because they look like they're saving it at times. And people like Hachimura has got to knock down shots. Your job is to have more energy around a bigger player that, yes, you're a smaller player than him, but play bigger. Play bigger. How about that?
Yeah.
Vanderbilt did a great job. Dorian Finney-Smith, so job last night. I don't know if he stayed out too late. He looked like he didn't have a lot of energy. He turned the ball over in crucial times. I mean, the Lakers were only within 1 digit, 3 minutes and 40-something seconds for the whole entire game. So they had a double-digit lead pretty much the whole game.
Yeah.
And the reason that it went down is because of lackadaisical play. You cannot just dilly-dally around because you got a 15-point lead. And it drizzled down to 9, and then they would tighten up. But, they got to play better than that, more consistent ball.
They definitely got to be
Jackson
more
Hayes is got to be more of a factor. They're not playing the other 2 centers at all.
Yeah, Jackson Hayes only played 9 minutes yesterday.
And the other centers play 0.
Yeah.
They're out there with the tallest guy on the team being 6'8" and 6'9".
Yeah, it's a little bit different than the things that the Minnesota Timberwolves are able to do. Naz Reid, he's an all-star. He's somebody that they got to get more from. He only had 9 points yesterday. He was ineffective.
What was wrong with him? It was like somebody called him out his name
he
because
was probably out too. He was out late. It's LA.
Yeah, he must have been out because he made 3 fouls that I was like, what are you doing?
Right.
Why would you make that foul? I mean, he hurt his team more than anybody else on that court last night.
Yeah.
If Naz Reeves does not get in foul trouble, get 3 fouls in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
And Jaden Daniels wasn't himself either. When they won that first game, Jaden Daniels was getting to his mid-range. He was knocking down shots. He was 0 of 3 from the three-point line. He wasn't the same player.
He was also handling the ball too. And they put Vincent out there.
Yeah.
And they were like, if he put the ball on the floor, take it from him. So JJ Redick effect you've seen in that game.
Well, he probably called his team out and made them go out there and play a lot tougher, especially at home. So they go on, they get ready to go to Minnesota. Series tied 1-1. OKC, they handle their business again.
Stop! He's already dead.
They beat him down. They beat him down once again. This is over for the Memphis Grizzlies. They will not win a game.
Hey, can we go ahead and get their bus tickets from Memphis to Galveston?
They've already decided where they're vacationing.
Over there by the seawall?
They got all of that figured out. They were hoping for another, what is it called? Not Freaknik. What do they used to call the trip to Galveston? The Kappa weekend.
Kappa Beach party.
They're trying to get ready for the Kappa Beach party because it is pretty much over for them. Ja Morant, 10 of 25 last night. He was trying to just take over the game. Jaren Jackson, I guess because of Kendrick Perkins calling him out, he decided that it was time for him to show up. Desmond Bane, he did great. But guess what? You look across at that team, that OKC Thunder team. They all do their job. Jalen Williams, they ball out. Alex Caruso stepped up last night. Shea Gilchrist finally got back to putting up Shea numbers. And Chet Holmgren, 11 rebounds.
I'm not going to elaborate on it too much because I'm going to be talking about this in my World's Strongest Take.
Okay.
But the simplest thing is the word of the rest for the rest of the year is be quiet. These guys talk too much. I know the coaches have got to be like, why did he just say our game plan? I hear it every week. People get out there and they start having, an emotional moment. And they just spill the beans.
Right.
How you gonna beat them? They ask it. The announcers are asking the coaches during the game. Hey, coach, y'all just had 4 turnovers. How you gonna correct this? And then sometimes they'll be smart ass and they'll say like, well, by holding on to the ball.
Yeah.
But I'd rather them do that than to actually start talking like JJ Redick did last night.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
be quiet, please.
You
Players, be quiet.
Well, I mean, that's part of it. I mean, you don't want to
coach speak.
You can definitely coach speak, and those types of moments are interesting to me when you start to look at how the game is being played. And it don't take rocket science to figure out how some of these teams are being affected by certain types of play. So to me, when you get out there and you start getting after it, it just becomes a little bit more tedious for these teams to be able to be affected by what's going on.
I would be like Belichick, Hardge. I would have a guy that his job is to listen to the live feed so he can tell me what the coach said after they ask him the question.
Well, they're going to continue to try to figure this out. As we said, both of these series rather, are 2-0. Milwaukee ends up getting beat by Indy, and that game was a physical matchup. I just don't understand, and I know a lot of people are trying to figure this out. Dame Lillard has fallen off to the point now to the point now that every time he's on the court, I understand him and Halliburton probably seriously don't like each other. I get that. But Dame, you got to perform, man. They went out and got you. They traded everybody. And I blame Giannis because Giannis wanted that done. He wanted that done. Coming up next, we've got Danny Davis of the Austin American Statesman, and we will ask him all things Texas football right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
An accident involving an 18-wheeler and 6 other vehicles closes down all lanes on I-35 southbound at the Southeast Inner Loop. Delays are starting from Lakeway Boulevard, causing just under an hour of backup in the area. Also, some good news, though, on I-35 southbound. The crash at East 6th Street has cleared, and the accident on the ramp from Mopac southbound to 183 is also gone. I'm Jason Fossig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Spring is here, and that means time to gear up for graduation gifts and summertime adventures. Whether it's a fresh ride for the grad or a tough truck for your next getaway, Cover Ford and Hutto has what you need. Go see them for great deals like a new 2024 Ford Super Duty Lariat for $10,696 off of MSRP. A new 2024 Ford Mustang EcoBoost Premium for $9,166 off of MSRP. Or a new 2024 Ford Expedition Timberline for $9,000 off of MSRP. See dealer for details. CoverFordHutto.com.
Quickly move. We don't have much time. This Liberty ad is already almost over. We only have a few precious seconds to remind people to customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual.
Okay. Well, I guess we had more time than I thought.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, retirement, maybe even kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you really need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. We're committed to helping protect your personal interests and the life you've built. Don't let divorce take more than it has to. Talk to us today.
Offices in Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Austin area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
Protesting your property taxes can save you money, but it's a hassle. That's why there's Ownwell. Ownwell can protest your property taxes and get them reduced. It takes just 3 minutes.
The Ownwell website is super simple. I've used Ownwell for 3 years, and every year they've saved me money.
Ownwell's team of local experts will file your protest and negotiate with the assessor for you. 86% of Ownwell's customers receive a reduction, with average customer savings of over $1,000. Don't pay unless you save.
With the money that I saved with Ownwell, that was a trip to Italy.
Right now, get an estimate of how much you can save by texting WIN to 64,000. But hurry, the deadline to protest is May 15th. Text WIN to 64,000. That's WIN to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Ownwell. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ownwell.com/terms. Estimate based on your neighborhood average and individual results may vary. The characters in this ad are actor portrayals based on real customer experiences.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Christian Walker and Jeremy Pena each had 3 hits and an RBI. The Astros beat the Blue Jays in Houston. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones got everyone's attention as he revealed they're working on pretty meaningful trades, but he wasn't specific. Lakers beat the Timberwolves to even the series at 1. Thunder crushed the Grizzlies, now lead 2-0. In the East, Pacers took a 2-0 series lead against the Bucks. I'm Ronza Moss.
This is 11-year NBA veteran Katina Mobley. This is what's trending from iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Thrivent.
At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than money. It's a way to support the people, causes, and community you love. Because the most important thing isn't what you're planning for, it's who. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
Catch every pitch with the Round Rock Express on 1300 The Zone.
To the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. At the top of the hour, we'll have Hugh Myers of Raiders Nation live from Green Bay talking all things draft. But right now, we're talking to Danny Davis of the Austin American-Statesman. You can follow him on social media at _Danny Davis. And Danny, you got an opportunity yesterday to meet with Coach Sarkisian and talked a little bit about the expectations coming into the spring, where they are now, and the evolution of some of the younger players. What were some of your biggest takeaway from the meeting yesterday with Coach Sark?
I think it's kind of like a normal Steve press conference for this time of the year. I think he's optimistic with how things have done this spring. I think he's happy with some of the progress he's seen, but he's also not naive. He doesn't think this is a perfect product at all, which is what you'd expect when you have 22 early enrollees. I mean, he made the joke that some of his guys are going home for prom this weekend. They have practice in the morning on Saturday, and they're all gonna try to get home for their high school proms, which kind of reminds you just kind of how young some of these guys are. Steve at one point talked about their scrimmage last Thursday where there were 2 different instances where one of their young guys caught a pass and did not realize what a first down marker was. It was like a third and long situation, 4th and long situation. So it's kind of a reminder that there's a lot of young guys on this team. He mentioned Arch, kind of having to even step up his leadership even more because he's not stepping into a situation where he has like a, really established like a Gunnar Helm on offense or Jake Majors on offense. I mean, it's going to be a pretty young offense. So, Arch's going to step up his leadership, and it's kind of reminders that there's a lot of turnover on this team. There are a lot of young guys who need to grow up and mature over the next couple of months. But Steve seems to be happy at least with the progress is in April.
Then the coach said that the guys are a long way from being a finished product, which we know the whole time on the 40 acres it could apply to that. But Hardge and I were arguing, well, not really arguing, about the second unit and third unit at quarterback and Trey Owens and KJ Lacey's development and where they stand. Where do they stand as far as you see?
And Steve gave a pretty long answer yesterday about KJ and Trey's development. I think we all kind of saw Trey a little bit last year. I mean, I think he's kind of a spring game MVP with the way he played in that spring game. So at least gave people a little bit of an appetizer. But I think Steve is happy. The season started tomorrow. I think people would be sweating a little bit if something happened to Arch in the fall camp. And Trey was the guy that they had sent out there at Ohio State. But for a second year kid and a freshman who once again should be in high school right now. I think their progress is going along, and if they are patient with the process and kind of are happy to sit behind Arch for a year or two and kind of learn the system and get coached up by this coaching staff, I think they'll be fine. But I think they're probably where every redshirt freshman and true freshman who is an early enrollee are in the process right now. They're not ready for Ohio State, but they're coming along.
I was watching Arch Quinn Ewers conversation yesterday, and he was being told that he was, man, you're ahead of the curve, and by John Gruden. and you can tell this guy's well coached. Is that something that now kids are coming here with the real intent for, is just to get that elite offensive coaching from the Texas coaches and Coach Sark in particular?
I mean, there's plenty of reasons to come try to be the quarterback at the University of Texas that have nothing to do with coaching, but I'm sure that is definitely a selling point. I mean, Steve is known as kind of a quarterback guru. He has a very long track record of guys that have gone on to the league that he's coached and that he's mentored. And I think, with what he's done his first, 5 years here at Texas, I mean, Quinn, 3-year guy, Arch, is going to have his 1 or 2 seasons with them. And, Casey Thompson and Hudson Card had successful moments under Steve. So, I mean, he has a track record of developing quarterbacks and quarterbacks shining. So if you're a quarterback who's looking to play at the next level, I can imagine that those are definitely attractive things, this coaching staff and getting to work with Steve. So, I mean, I would say that, Gruden telling Quinn that he's been well coached, I think that's probably something that, Steve probably sent out in a mailer to whatever quarterback they're looking at next.
We're talking to Danny Davis of the Austin American-Statesman. You can find him at _Danny Davis. And Danny, going into the offseason, a lot of conversation was about being able to replace those guys up front, Alfred Collins, Barron Sorrell, and Vernon. It has already been brought in. Well, Texas goes out in the transfer portal and makes it happen again. They went out and got some guys that are ready to play in the SEC. What are your thoughts from what you've seen so far and what Texas has been able to do in the transfer portal?
I mean, Steve was pretty honest at the beginning of spring camp that they still weren't happy with their D-line depth, and they went out and got 2 more guys this spring, assuming that everything goes according to plan. And Murad Watson does sign after yesterday's news that he committed. I think that it's 5 defensive tackles that they've gotten to the portal this offseason to this spring. They have a couple young guys that they're happy with that have been developing in the system. So, I think this Texas coaching staff believes you can never have too many defensive linemen. Their track record seems to be that they like older guys that kind of explode their last couple of year or two on campus. That's been their track record the last few seasons. So, they saw that as a need. They addressed it in the portal, and that's kind of the world of college football. Kind of the opposite of the offensive line. They refuse to go, after anyone on the offensive line in the portal, and they prefer to develop that in house. But the last few years, whether it's either having a really older guy kind of step up or addressing it to the portal, that's kind of how they've gone about their business.
Wanted to transfer to the Diamond. Obviously, Texas baseball gets a dub last night. They're still the number 1 team in the land. But you and I got a chance to be able to see Jonah Williams up close and personal. You got a chance to talk to him and kind of see what's going on in that young man's mind. You mentioned, these 17-year-olds and getting ready for prom and being able to go back for prom. He doesn't get that opportunity, but he's been very impressive thus far.
Yeah, I think this weekend was one of the first times I felt really, really old because I found out that Jonah was born 5 days after I graduated from college. And so that made me feel really, really old. But, he had a really good weekend against Auburn. Definitely kind of lived up to the hype. You're kind of wondering, with all the problems Texas had trying to find a stable left fielder, why he hadn't gotten the shot and why, Jim had not, tried that. He tried it this week and it worked well. There's still going to be growing pains. You kind of saw that last night at Texas State when he, probably should have sprinted a little quicker on that double that he got thrown out on. But that's going to happen when you're 17 and trying to figure yourself out. So this is a good start. We'll see where it goes. I would definitely not pencil him in as the starting left fielder for the rest of the season because he's going to hit a slump. He's going to hit those growing pains, and we'll see what happens once Max Blue gets healthy and Tommy Farmer's looking for a place to play regularly, and maybe Easton Winfield or Jaden Duplantier kind of step up and try to figure out how to get to more playing time. But definitely for a first week against Auburn, Jonah definitely showed what the hype is all about, and I'm sure there's some Texas fans. So really excited to see what he does against A&M this weekend.
No doubt. It's going to be a lot of fun. Busy weekend for you, me, and all of the Texas faithful. Danny, as always, man, we appreciate you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Talk to you later.
All right. There he is, Danny Davis of the Austin American-Statesman. Coming up next, we're going to talk about that Texas baseball victory in Slam Marcus, where they created their own slam time for the Texas Longhorns, right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show with Craig Way.
Tex Schramm, you'd hear him on with Brad Sham when we had the show and I was the producer for it, called Ask Tex Schramm. This was like 1987. The football Cardinals were moving to Arizona. Brad Sham is doing the show. And so he asked him, he said, well, does that mean also now there'll be a change that the Atlanta Falcons would move from the NFC West to the NFC East? The Texas response was, well, once you're on an airplane, what difference does it make?
Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone.
Bonus bucks. Bonus bucks. Once you win $1,000 in bonus bucks, you'll have more money to use on your fantasy leagues. Bonus bucks. The winning happens every weekday, right here
on 1300 The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
An accident involving an 18-wheeler and 6 other vehicles closes down all lanes on I-35 southbound at the Southeast Inner Loop. Delays are starting from Lakeway Boulevard, causing just under an hour of backup in the area. Also, some good news, though, on I-35 southbound. The crash at East 6th Street has cleared, and the accident on the ramp from Mopac southbound to 183 is also gone. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows that with job site delivery, you can get what you need without losing valuable time. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes for same-day delivery, subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Hey, weekend warriors. How's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails and turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent four-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Second opinions.
You get them with your health.
So why not with your wealth?
Your stock market investments deserve a second opinion.
At Henyon & Walsh, it only takes a second
to schedule your free second opinion.
Go online and search for Henyon & Walsh, the second opinion people. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Henyon & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Henyon & Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Easy Cater. It's all the food for your workplace, all in one place. With over 100,000 restaurants nationwide on one platform. Whether you need food for company meetings or events, daily employee lunches, or your next lunch and learn, Easy Cater makes food for work, work. And it doesn't stop at lunch. With Easy Cater, you've got great breakfast options, snacks, treats, and more. Whenever and wherever work happens, Easy Cater's here to make the food happen. Order now at easycater.com.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
It's kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching
Does this have peanuts?
to waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job.
Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Austin, this is Cameron Parker with big news. 2024 savings are ending. Customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right. Customers in Texas saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040. Or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CCB numbers are 212-018, 245-089, 204-061.
The new iHeart app just looks better.
The best feature of a car radio on the app.
It's the presets.
Super easy.
And thank you for keeping it free.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horns. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. The Craig Way Show with the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Stretch from the right-hander Bryson Dudley. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Casey Borba. Swings and a ground ball through on the left side, of base hit. 2 runs will score. Borba with a big turn. He's going to head for second. He's going to be out. The second run did cross the plate in time to tie the score, but Borba trying to stretch it into a double down at second base. It'll end the inning. The Longhorns play 4 to tie the score. Also strike the count with 2-1. Swung on it, a ball hit well out toward deep center. Back to the warning track. You can say goodnight to it. Off the batter's eye in dead center. A 3-run homer from Casey Borba. And it's a 9-8 ball game. Ground ball knocked down. Here comes a throw to the plate. The tag is there. Out at home plate. Flores able to field that hot smash. Came home and was able to get Caden Baker at the plate for out number 2.
That's just a little taste of what was going on last night in San Marcos, Texas, as the #1 team in the land. Texas Longhorns baseball defeated Texas State 14-11. And I'll tell you how we got there. Texas now moves to 34-5. Texas State moves to 19-21. We had talked about it for a little bit about certain things that was happening. And at that particular moment, Texas was still down. And then they decided they were about to make their move.
1-1 the count to Galvan. Walls the right-hander, set at the belt. The 1-1. Swung on it, a ball hit high out toward left. Gingrich had to locate it back to the warning track. It doesn't matter. Say goodnight to it. Over the left field wall. Rylan Galvan, his 12th home run of the season. RBIs 35-36. And here come the Longhorns again. It's an 11-10 ball game.
Well, you get to 11-10, and that was in the 8th inning. But in the 9th inning, Mr. Clutch himself, Jalen Flores, and in the words of my man Craig Way, you can say goodnight to it.
Their 12th hit of the night. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Flores. The windup in the pitch. Swung on it, a ball hit well. This one out to deep center, and it is gone! Grand slam home run! Jalen Flores with a grand slam, and the Longhorns have their first lead of the night, 14-11 on Flores' 10th home run of the year. What a colossal shot from Jalen Flores, and the Longhorns on their 12th hit of the night. Plate runs 11, 12, 13, and 14.
Bang, bang, he hit that thing as the Texas Longhorns find a way to slam the door in San Marcos, and Coach Schlossnagle was really excited that his team competed.
Skipper, there are teams, you and I have both been around, that had the will to win. And that's what I looked at that game tonight, as a team that had a will to win.
Yeah, I mean, we had a conversation before we got on the bus just about the term win anyway. And it's win anyway. Hey, we're banged up, we're hurt, another guy's hurt, win anyway. Or it's win anyway. And obviously, you know, there's a lot of opportunities for us to cash in on that game. You know, we had pitching guys that haven't pitched much. They're not throwing strikes. We get down 9-4, but just kept putting together at bats and made it, you know, Cody made enough pitches to keep us close. And then we were able to use, you know, we didn't want to use any of the weekend guys unless it was one guy to win the game, and Burnsy was able to finish it off.
You know, you look at bats. I'm going to take Jalen's. I mean, he hasn't played a ton, but he's thrown in the mix. I thought that was a heck of a bat to lead off in the 9th inning.
Against their Friday guy. I mean, against one of their weekend starters, a lefty that's tough, and was spitting it up there 92 with a breaking ball and a changeup, and in his home park. And so that's, yeah, I mean, that's what we've done. I mean,
and then you have Galvan, who's done it all year, and then Jalen. You had two veteran guys there at the end that separated the ball game.
They did, and Borba's had a big two-run single, and then 3-run homer. But yeah, Galvan's, he's such on he's on a level right now that's, I think he's as good as there is in the country at his position. And Jalen made some big adjustments in the batting cage before we got here today, and it was good to see him take him into the game. He hit some good fastballs, and that's a really good sign for us.
Well, congratulations. It's a tough place to win a game.
It is. Safe travels home, brother.
Okay.
Why number one? Because I'm the one.
There it is, number one, because I'm the one. They came out and they performed at a high level, Mark, and this is a team that was their 16th come from behind victory. When you sit there and you talk about the will to win, being able to go out there and fight and compete, that's exactly what Texas was able to do.
Not only were they able to do it, but they did it under duress. And I think that people underestimate. You talk about, man, let the dudes fail. I want them to fail. I'm not against them having proper learning experiences. It's the same thing that I saw with that game, is the more time that Texas has behind than ahead, the better they're going to be when the playoffs starts.
Yeah. Well, now they move on to Texas A&M this weekend. Texas A&M comes in, one of the hotter teams in the country as well. They've turned some things around, and now they are getting their opportunities. Texas now is 34-5. This weekend's game is on SEC Network on Friday at 7 p.m. and ESPN2 Saturday and Sunday. Both games at 3 o'clock. But, of course, you can hear Craig Way on the call this weekend, along with Keith Moreland. This team continues to find ways to win, and that is the most impressive part about it. As I just told you, 16 come from behind wins, and a lot of those are sparked by Jalen Flores and what he's been able to do. Coming up, we've got our man Q Myers from Green Bay, where the draft is taking place, and we'll get the latest on what he thinks about these Texas Longhorn football players that are going to hear their name called this weekend. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. Mike Hardball Hardge here, and it's the best time to be a basketball fan. All the thrills and the playoff drama. You done sitting on the sideline and ready to win some real cash? Check out Pick 6 from DraftKings. When it comes to basketball payouts, DraftKings Pick 6 posterizes the competition, including prize picks. If you hit all of your picks and score higher minimum payouts on Pick 6, plus you'll get more cash if you outscore the competition. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use the code SPOTLIGHT. That's code SPOTLIGHT for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts and bigger wins. Only at DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus age, and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Fuel costs add up. That's why fleet managers like Ed Keeley of Communications Unlimited are switching to Coast.
the Smart Visa Fuel Card designed to help business owners save on fuel and cut wasteful spending.
When we first started using Coast, we saved in the neighborhood of $22,000 from our previous month's invoice from our other provider.
Get fuel rebates of 4 to 10 cents on every gallon at Coast's 30,000 partner stations across the country, like Exxon and 7-Eleven. Plus, get greater control over your spending and block unauthorized purchases before they happen.
The biggest change is the controls that the Coast product allows us to have that the other vendor didn't. There was a lot of potential for abuse out there that became virtually impossible with Coast.
Go to coastpay.com/sports and learn how to save an average of 10% on your fuel bill with Coast. That's coastpay.com/sports to save 10% on fuel with Coast. coastpay.com/SPORTS.
Coast card products are issued by Celtic Bank. All card accounts are subject to credit approval. See terms at coastpay.com.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything from online to hybrid courses and lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 14th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Would you drive 10 minutes for $500? That's the distance from CarMax to Henna Chevrolet. And Henna guarantees you $500 more than any CarMax offer for your vehicle. Just show Henna your written CarMax appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $1,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com. Together, let's drive. Did you know Factory Mattress has over 6,000 5-star local reviews? Factory Mattress carries all the major brands at the guaranteed lowest price and has free next-day delivery and setup. But this week only, instead of charging you a pickup fee for your old mattress like other companies do, Factory Mattress is doing an exclusive $100 trade-in allowance, even if you didn't buy it from us. The best customer reviews and the lowest prices.
My Factory Mattress.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horn. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns. 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. In segment 1, we talked about Coach Sark meeting with the media. We also talked NBA, and we got a chance to hear about the Texas Longhorns getting that victory in San Marcos, and Danny Davis of the Austin American-Statesman. Right now, we will go to Green Bay and talk to our guy, your boy Q Myers of Raiders Nation, and he is up there doing all things related to the draft. You can follow him on social media at your boy Q254. Q, what's happening, baby?
Man, what's happening? How you guys doing? We out here in the shadows of Lambeau Field right now, man. It's a beautiful day out here, so excited for this NFL draft to get going tomorrow.
No doubt about it, man. We're excited about it as well. I got a chance to go on your show in Las Vegas last week, and we talked a lot about these Texas Longhorns and how they are stacking up in the draft. There's a possibility, obviously, of you guys, and all the mock drafts looks like they're looking at Ashton Genty as the running back, but there's also some stuff that can happen in the second and later rounds. And as you look at this Texas Longhorn football team and the players that have really made some noise, which one would you see being fit for you guys, maybe in one of those second or third round picks?
I'll tell you right now, man, I'll look at one in the first round. It might be Jahdae Barron, the cornerback, man. This dude, as you know, I mean, that's a versatile man. I mean, he could do just about anything. And remember, the Raiders now, they have Pete Carroll as their head coach. So he's a defensive-minded dude. The Raiders secondary is pretty suspect right now. They let a couple guys go, and they have a lot of youth there that hasn't been proven. But this guy, what he did at Texas, he's been proven, right, with the ball production, with being able to play multiple positions. I could definitely see him being a guy that Pete Carroll would look at, especially if Ashton Genty's not available at number 6, which there's a lot of indications that maybe he won't be. Jacksonville will take him at number 5. I can see the Raiders maybe even trying to trade back a couple spots to say number 9, or even if they stick and pick, say, hey, you know what, this is the best defensive player right there. I think it's going to go down to him or Will Johnson, one of the 2 corners coming off the board first. But I wouldn't be surprised if Barron was the guy. He's healthy, he's productive, and you can play all over the field. I think that's a win-win-win. Check all the boxes for Pete Carroll.
Well, I got a couple of things for you. One, I want your wild card. Like, what is your wild card pick? Everything else went wrong. All the player that you wanted was gone. This is who we going with. Or you see a trade? Do you see a trade on the horizon to trade down?
Yeah, I can see a trade. I really can. There's been reports that, you know, the Raiders in particular aren't in love with everyone at the top of the board, including Ashton Genty. And look, I don't know how much of that is smoke, misdirection, whatever the case may be. It's the day before the draft, so you know how that goes. I can see them trading back. I can also see them going with an offensive lineman, like an Armand Membu out of Missouri. And that's not a sexy pick. That's not the one that the fan base is going to go run and get the jersey printed up and be there and be excited about it. But it could be a smart pick. It could be the guy that can hold it down for the next 10 years. True right tackle at Missouri, and the Raiders need a right tackle. So I can definitely see them having interest in Armand Membu and he being the pick. And the fan base will probably be upset, but, you know, years later and he's still there holding it down, they'll be like, you know what, that was a really good pick back in 2025.
Yeah, it always keeps people off balance when you start to look at those types of picks. But Q, I wanted to ask you this because you know as well as I do that with the coaching change, Pete Carroll coming in, they go out, they get Geno Smith. If Geno Smith was not the starting quarterback, would Shedeur Sanders be on the board for the the Las Vegas Raiders? Or is he still on the board for the Raiders if that pick comes?
I mean, he's on my board still. I'll tell you that. I've been a guy that's been talking about him for a while. I mean, him and Dion and Travis Hunter, they made Colorado must-watch football every single Saturday, Friday, Thursday, whatever day it was. We were watching Colorado football. I think he's a hell of a quarterback. I know there's a lot of different reports out saying he's this, that, and the third. A lot of that has to do with his last name. A lot of that has to do with his big smile, his confidence, and a lot more that goes with that, as you know. But I think he's a really good quarterback. And even with Geno Smith in the mix, if he's there at 6, I would definitely heavily consider him. I know that the fan base will tell me, yeah, but he can't help you win right now. That's okay, right? You've had a quarterback carousel since Derek Carr was let go a couple of years ago. You've gone from Jimmy G, you've gone to Brian Hoyer, you've had Gardner Minshew, you've had Aiden O'Connell, you've had Desmond Ritter. I mean, look, that's 5 quarterbacks in like 2 years. I mean, you would have to make some kind of decision of what you're going to do for the long term. Not to mention, he'd be a guy that would have Allegiant Stadium all the way blacked out with nothing but Sanders jerseys instead of having every other fan base in the building representing. You know what I mean? Like, that would get something that would get the fan base juiced up too. So I like him at 6 if he's there. Most of the people don't agree with me. That's fine. I'm okay. I don't mind living on that island by myself, but that's where I would have him. So smarter people than me tell me that he's not on the board because of the addition of Geno Smith. But they say Jalen Milroe, the quarterback out of Alabama, if he's available in round 2, would be on the Raiders' radar. So you figure it out.
Well, if you have a quarterback already, and why not Kelvin Banks? Kelvin Banks is like the invisible man all of a sudden. Like, I don't know what happened. This guy went from being a top 10 pick to we don't know who he is.
No, it's funny that you mentioned that, and I mentioned that to Mike a couple of weeks ago. I mean, he was the number 1 tackle in this class for the longest, and then all of a sudden, everyone said, oh, he slid. He's on like the third guy. You know, it goes from Campbell to Membu to then Banks. And I was like, wait, what did he do exactly? And now it's funny, and maybe it's just a timing thing. Now all of a sudden, everyone's saying, oh, he's resurging. And I'm thinking there was no games played. Like, how is he resurging? Like, what did he do that all of a sudden has made it reverse course? But no, you're absolutely right. I'm glad you threw Banks in there. He's a possibility, not to mention he has ties with Pete Carroll because of Steve Sarkisian. Like, Steve Sarkisian and Pete Carroll are tight with each other. So that's why Quinn Ewers, when he goes in with visits, they're really tight. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see multiple Longhorns go to the Raiders, and Banks could definitely be one of them. And again, he'll fill a void, and he can end up being the left tackle. Right now, the Raiders have a left tackle situation where their current one doesn't have any guaranteed money on his deal. He's not going to voluntary workouts, which is just voluntary, but you kind of see the writing on the wall. He's 29 years old. Maybe there's going to be a changing of the guard at some point. Banks is a hell of a tackle, man. I could definitely see him being in the mix.
Yeah, I'm glad that conversation has continued to roll. You and I have had that multiple times. Like, this dude has nullified any superstar that has gone up against him and handled his business as well. The Raider Nation is obviously looking to make a splash and try to turn some things around, i.e. Pete Carroll coming in and Geno Smith. Where are some of the major needs of the Raiders for them to have success?
Well, I mean, they need to get a number one wide receiver. They have Brock Bowers, who's a phenomenal tight end, but he's literally a tight end. So, I mean, they do need to get a number one wide receiver. I would say a Matthew Golden, another Texas Longhorn, could be in the mix there. I mean, I think he could be the first wide receiver taken off the board, even though everyone's talking about Tedoroa McMillan from Arizona. I like Golden in that speed more, and that fits the Raiders' mantra, right? Speed kills. That's what they're all about. So he would be a guy that would fit that mold. They do need the offensive line. They need a running back, whether that's Genty early or that's another running back. The good thing is there's plenty of running backs in this draft, so they can go ahead and get a guy there. The cornerback room needs to be addressed. That's why I mentioned Barron earlier. I mean, everything I'm mentioning, man, they need, right? Linebacker help. They need Jesus, man. They need a lot, right? There's a lot of talent that they need to add to this roster, and it's not going to all happen in one draft. I get it. They're going to make picks that aren't going to be the best pick, and they're just not going to hit, but they need to start just stacking talented dudes. They need to start getting a roster together full of talent. They've missed so many drafts in the past, and so it's really put them behind the eight ball. So now Pete Carroll, he's been there, done that. He kind of knows what he's looking for. John Spytek, he hasn't, but he's been in that Tampa Bay system. He's been the assistant GM, so you can go back and look at their history of their drafts. They've done really well. So I think this is a nice 1-2 punch between the two guys. Now they got to go out there and execute and start tomorrow.
With that being said, you mean Jesus can't hit a fastball? Come on, man. You dropped that
Jesus
one.
Could steal a base. Jesus could steal a base, right?
Oh,
And tell
my
you about it
God.
while he's doing it.
Q, I wanted to ask you too, you look at what's going on. You used to be in Central Texas. You were prominent in Waco. Just a little bit north of Waco is Dallas. And obviously the Cowboys are always in the middle of the conversation. Sometimes they have great drafts. I mean, they have done some really good things in the draft. It's just the free agent market that they've had a little bit of trouble. What do you think the Cowboys need to do to don't say fire Jerry. We know that the Crypt Keeper's got to go. But what do you need to see from the Cowboys to know that they are, quote unquote, all in?
Well, it's funny, man, because they do have really good drafts. I got to give Will McClay so much credit. Him and that staff that they do a really good job. It's just everything after that is always the big question. But they obviously need to address the running back position. I know Genty was a guy at one stage of the game was mocked to them at number 12, and now it doesn't even sound like he's going to be there available at number 6. So good luck with that unless they make a trade. But again, a really good deep running back class, so they need to address that. I mean, I always say, man, you don't want to look for your ex, you want to look for your next. So when they made the move going back to Zeke Elliott, I thought, what are we doing? You just got rid of him. Now you're bringing him back. It's like, what are we doing? Like, hey, man, I'm comfortable with this guy. Let's bring him back. There's a reason why you moved on from him. So that we all knew that was a bad decision. So they've got to address the running back position. I would think that they need a couple more guys on the offensive line. I think the trenches are always an area where they're able to draft, and they do a really good job with that. So we'll see them do that again. They just need to continue to stack players, man. Can they get someone across with CeeDee Lamb that could be a difference maker, right? Can they get a guy that maybe takes the top off the defense? Just something to help free up CeeDee a little bit so all the eyes aren't on him at all times. So I think as long as they go and continue to build the team through the draft the way that they do through Will McClay and company, I think they have a good opportunity. It's just after that, man. Like, what is Schottenheimer going to do? Is he going to be a really good coach? Is that going to be healthy? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, they have the tools. They have the right ingredients, but it's like me. I can't cook. So you could throw all these great things in front of me, and I still ain't going to make a good meal. I'm still going to take you out to dinner and be like, you know what? Forget this. Let's just go out to get something to eat. Let's go.
There he is, my guy, Q Myers. Make sure you follow him at your boy Q. He's in Green Bay, and so he will have a lot. So get over to his social media. As always, brother, I appreciate you, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely, and Jesus just stole another base.
Save! There he is. Q Myers. There he goes. Coming up next, we got my man Law Nation of the Dallas Cowboys talking Cowboys draft and what's next for them. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show, weekdays at 2.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Bills. That's Bills. Enter it now at am1300thezone.com.
Ready? AM 1300 The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeartCountry Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
A full closure of all the lanes on I-35 southbound due to an 18-wheeler accident at the Southeast Inner Loop. You're looking at about a 45-minute delay starting from the Northeast Inner Loop. There's also an accident being reported on the 130 Toll Road northbound at Pierce, backing you up from Elroy, and a stalled vehicle in the right lane on the upper deck of I-35 northbound at Manor. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
In today's Marketers Report, Erica Taylor, Chief Marketing Officer of Genentech, weighs in on audio's ability to reach any audience.
Everyone is listening somewhere, somehow. So it's a great way to take something very precise in what we're trying to do to reach patients with something that I think we can all agree is somewhat broad in reaching many, many different audiences.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia can get more people to hear your message than anyone else. For better results for every budget, visit iHeartAdvertising.com.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails and turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent four-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Hey, Austin, this is Cameron Parker with big news. 2024 savings are ending. Customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right. Customers at Texas saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040. Or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hardworking, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to BABBEL.com. That's Babbel.com.
There are two types of golfers, those that can hit solid golf shots wearing sunglasses and those that wish they could. Shade and Precision Eyewear is all about better vision and better golf. If you're lacking confidence to wear sunglasses while hitting golf shots, go to SeeBetterPlayBetter.com and learn why so many tour players and their caddies have switched to the Shaden brand. Use the code 2020 to get 20% off and a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's SeeBetterPlayBetter.com and the code 2020 to see the golf course like you've never seen it before.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Horns.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Great stuff from Q Myers talking all things draft. And let's go up to Dallas, Texas. And you can make sure you follow this young man at Law Nation on social media. Law, it is time for the draft, and the Cowboys are on the clock, and they are picking.
Yes, with the 12th pick of the NFL draft, the Cowboys select yours truly, Matthew Golden. The speed, they can take the top off the defense. They got short area quickness. They can run in between the splits, too, if necessary, on the field to find the soft spots in the zone. I think that's where they go to get their favorite toy, a speedster.
Yeah, we've been excited about that, and the Cowboys are in a position now that the adjustment period to being able to go and get a guy to offset what CeeDee Lamb has been able to do is very, very important. You and I have had conversations multiple times about the expectations. Normally in these situations, the Cowboys go with the safe pick, and they turn out to be pretty good when they go with offensive linemen. There's a lot of speculation from the young man out of Arizona. Ashton Genty was a part of the conversation in the very beginning. But if Matthew Golden is not the pick, what is the other option for the Cowboys?
Okay, if you get to the 12th spot and, the head coach been talking about physicality and he wanted to play with up-tempo and things of that nature, I feel as if, though, if the board falls the way it will, then they might trade back because if Genty is gone, if Tet is gone, if Matthew Golden is gone, there's no other guy that you can probably want as a Cowboy player outside of Omarion Hampton, someone that can bring physicality to the table, who can run really good and catch out of the backfield. And they need that piece to solidify this team. So wants versus needs, I think that would be a good situation for us to trade back, get more picks to the top 100 and pick up Omarion Hampton.
I think Omarion Hampton would be a good option, but like either one of these tackles, I Banks preferably because I keep going to that shed, but also Will or I can't pronounce the other tackle's name, Manor.
The one from Missouri.
Armand Membu. Armand Membu is there.
Yeah,
Membu is there. Alex Booker is there, as well as
go
Kevin
tackle.
Banks, I think. Yeah. Would you say?
I would say go tackle. Guyton was a failed experiment. He's a glorified guard, or maybe have to play right tackle.
So you think sliding Guyton inside and still draft a tackle like a Kevin Banks?
Yeah, so they can go back to having an offensive line like they did back in the day. And I think that would help Dak out just as much as getting another offensive weapon. They can get another offensive weapon in the second round.
So what would you do with Terrence Steele if that's the case, if you slide Guyton to right tackle or guard, even though we do have a big old hole at right guard right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'll try to move Guyton down and either trade him or see if he will take a pay cut, because that's the only thing that he can do for me at that point.
Well, with Connor Riley now in the fold, I know that we're going to do more GT counter trap zones, and we're going to pull traps. It's going to be more of a pulling system. If anything, with Tyler Guyton or Terrence Steele, they got good feet, and I think that could work with them. If they fool around and draft a Kevin Banks, of course, the Cowboy community will revolt a little bit because of the fact that we've been drafting unskilled players for a long time. But like you said when we had our conversation, Kevin Banks, he bench pressed that 225 31 times. There's more than Will Campbell. There's more than, a few other guys that people consider ahead of him. And that would be a good situation, but it'd just be one of those things whereas it will not bring excitement. It's just one of those things because the Cowboys.
I'm not excited now. I'm a real fan. Like the people that are real fans of the Cowboys, we're not afraid of not being not getting the sexy pick. The sexy pick is great. I love to get Golden. I love to get Genty. But I think that for the long haul, Dak was running for his life.
He was. Yeah.
He had guys jumping off sides and killing drives. Like they have to get better on that offensive line.
Yeah, I always say this: when expectations meets reality, the Cowboys decided to start 2 rookies last season for the offensive line, Cooper Beebe and as well as Tyler Guyton, who had a gauntlet of, and I know excuses are going to come around, but he had a gauntlet of pass rushers that he had to deal with, And as a rookie switching from right tackle to left tackle in the National Football League, we had to expect that he was going to fall off like that, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, it only took 11 games to do it, but nonetheless, how many penalties did he have in 11 games?
He had about north of 8 or 9. Yeah, he had a lot. He was a penalty machine.
Yeah. So like that killed a lot of drives and momentum. Dak Prescott, when he wasn't walking backwards, shaking his head, he was getting up off the ground. Like so, that's a hard way to get up and go to the sideline and think, okay, I got to come out here and do better.
I get your notion, because if you're paying Dak Prescott $250 million, you want to be able to protect your number one asset, because that's where money is at. So I will agree with that. I will succeed. I will concede to the fact that maybe the Cowboys need an offensive line more than getting a flashy pick like a Matthew Golden or Emeka Ibuka, or trading back and picking up a running back. That do make sense. But right now, they better figure out something as it relates to that, because Dak Prescott money ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, get one of those running backs from Ohio State. Both of those guys block like offensive linemen. Like
Travion Henderson.
Yeah, get Henderson. You get Henderson and a tackle. You got Dak standing upright.
But the one thing about it is you can sit back and you can get those guys a little bit later. Those guys aren't going to be first-round picks. So eventually you're going to be able to get those guys. Connor Beebe is a stud in the making, and he was a later pick. He's going to be just fine. Some of those guys can be picked up a little bit later. But, again, when you start to look at what's going on with that offense and whatever Marty, I was going to call him Marty, whatever Shoddy is going to run in this offense, you already said it's more of a gap scheme type of offense where they're going to be a lot of pooling, and they will feature the run game. So you can get some of those but you can get some of those quality offensive linemen a little bit later.
Are you saying quality offensive linemen later, or more so running backs? Because this is the deep class of running back room,
You're going to be able to get both, I think.
Okay. What about Cam Williams? I know we talked a bit about him. He falls right into the second round. What would you do with him in a Cowboys uniform if you were the GM?
He's that road grader that we talked about. He's that guy, but he's also a guy that you're going to have to teach some discipline to, because of the penalties in which he had that Mark was alluding to about drive stallers.
Right.
So that would be my only hesitancy when it comes to that. And you and I talked about that last week with Eric Henry. If he can be able to fix those penalties, he could have been a first round pick.
So So do you go with your flashy guy with the first pick, and then you go into their mindset saying, okay, let's get real with it. Let's get us a true offensive lineman that can fit in, that can fight for a spot on this team, because we do have Brock Hoffman fighting for that right guard spot, and he's the smallest guy on the team on that offensive line. He's right at 303. Everybody else is like 325 and up, and they moving stuff around. But he's feisty, though. Brock Hoffman is feisty, though. Go ahead.
The only one I will not, if Matthew Golden is there, I'm taking Matthew Golden, period.
Okay.
Just like you said when you started your segment. What'd you say? With the 12th pick, I'm taking Matthew Golden.
Yeah, don't overanalyze it, because, 4.28, 4.29 is speed. That's something that's real, and the opposition is going to have to pay real close attention to it. The good thing about it with Matthew Golden is that he will be getting the team's number 2 DBs or number 3. All of the attention still would be on CD Lamb.
No doubt. Well, I will be paying attention to your draft prognostications as we are headed into that, and I will catch up with you maybe tomorrow after that pick.
Come on with it, man. I can't wait for that pick to go through. Just like anything, hey, Matthew Golden can be our Alvin Harper. Come on with it.
We need him. There he is, Law Nation. Make sure you follow him at Law Nation. Coming up next, you got the world's strongest man bringing you his world's strongest take right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
All lanes are closed down due to an 18-wheeler crash on I-35 southbound at the Southeast Inner Loop. It has you all tied up starting from the Northeast Inner Loop. And to make matters worse than the backup of this accident, there's a separate crash on I-35 southbound at Williams Drive. There's also an accident blocking off the left lane on 130 northbound at Pierce. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Hey, it's your boy Mike Hardge here, and I'm rolling in style with MyPlates.com.
And I'm the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. You know I got to have a license plate as strong as my legacy.
That's right, Mark. MyPlates.com lets you customize your Texas license plates with your name, your team, your passion, whatever makes your ride stand out.
And big or small, my place has it all. You want bold? You want style? You want to turn heads at every stoplight? My place has you covered.
Plus, it's easy. Just hop on MyPlates.com, pick your design, and make it yours. And now, you can even score discounts on select plates.
So why ride with a boring plate when you can flex on them with my plates?
That's right. Go to myplates.com today and customize your Texas license plate.
And get yours now before I go out and take them all.
So visit myplates.com and use the promo code THEZONE, all one word, THEZONE, to save up to $55. And don't be boring. Be exciting. And tell them Mike Hardge
and Mark Henry
sent you.
And Doug. Quickly move. We don't have much time. This Liberty ad is already almost over. We only have a few precious seconds to remind people to customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Okay. Well, I guess we had more time than I thought.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
When divorce puts your life's work on the line, Cordell & Cordell is ready to help you protect it. As a business owner, you've dedicated years building a legacy now at risk due to divorce. Let our experienced family law attorneys fight for you and that legacy. Cordell & Cordell is one of the nation's largest family law firms. Call to schedule your consultation today.
Offices in Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Austin area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
Since 1909, the Coverts have grown with Texas, driving progress, earning trust, and serving our communities. 116 years later, my family's proud to continue this legacy at Covert Chevrolet in Bastrop, delivering exceptional service and continuing a reputation of excellence. Covert Chevrolet in Bastrop. Come see us or shop our low rates and special offers online at covertbastrop.com. Bastrop.com. Trade-in values are up, so now's the time to trade in and trade up. Covert Chevrolet, Highway 71 in Bastrop. Together, let's drive.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Your Austin weather, thunderstorms this morning, the scattered thunderstorms this afternoon. Some may be severe, a high of 82. Thunderstorms likely developing overnight, a low of 70. Thursday, morning showers and storms, a high of 88.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. In a rush and don't have time to shop for groceries? Let Randall's do the shopping for you. Now at Randall's, get $30 off your first online order. With free pickup or delivery, you will always get the same great prices, deals, and rewards as in-store. Shop Randalls.com or in the app.
Here's what's trending now on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
This is going to be an episode you can't miss. Deepak Chopra drops some mind-blowing wisdom on Purpose with Jay Shetty. And I got to be honest, it might change the way you think. Plus, Julianne Hough spills iconic advice she got from the one and only Dolly Parton on Post Run High. Plus, Clay Matthews joins Lots to Say, and he's got a lot to say about beekeeping. Yeah, you heard that right.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeartRadio app and see what's trending now.
The Round Rock Express play here. 1300 The Zone.
The beat has dropped. Of course, you know what that means. WWE Hall of Famer, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, brings you his world's strongest take. Take it away, big fella.
Hard.
What's up, man?
You know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for the world's strongest take. The world's strongest. I guess back then they didn't know me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. I alluded earlier in the show to the fact that John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies are in a bad place, not just because of him, not just because of some of the other things that their teammates have said, but it was his big mouth that opened the door for a 51-point loss. And then on top of that, after the game, what did Josh say? They're going to give you the microphone. You know they're going to give you the microphone. You coach speak. Hey, this is unacceptable. We got to do better. We're going to go back to the lab. And we're going to get this ironed out. I got to do better. Make it about yourself. Now, they will never beat us like this again. That's what he said. I'm going to tell you something about guys that are him. Women that are her. They don't need much. Air, water, and for you to open your big mouth and question their greatness. Question the reasoning behind how they got to the top in the first place. How they became the cream on the latte. They don't need much. There's famous stories, Michael Jordan making up stuff. He made it up. It wasn't even real, but he believed it. And he went out and motivated himself. John Morant, every game, opens his big mouth and says something to light the fire of the people when is his teammates gonna say, bro, shut up?
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Yeah, I feel like the Hulk right now. He makes the teams better. John Morant went out there, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander used him like a Kleenex. And you can see it in his face when he came on the floor. I'm used to seeing him kind of smile, kind of be kind of, team player. High five, everybody. That dude was focused. He looked like Kobe. He looked like Kobe out there. And his teammates were playing with the same kind of energy that they played when they were beating them by 35 and ended up beating them by 50. They know now what the secret sauce is. That if you allow Memphis to talk, they're going to win. But if you go out there and play against them real hard, they kind of fold up like a winter shade. Hardge, what say you?
Well, I also understand, too, that if John Morant's teammates stepped up, which Jaren Jackson tried to step up finally, it would be a different story. Look, John Morant is who John Morant is. He's been the same person from day one.
Yeah.
He has always been the guy that is going to pop off. And he should have said that our team is not going to get beat by 51 again. I would have said that. You would have said that.
He didn't say 51. He said, we're not going to get beat like this again.
And I would concur with that, wouldn't you?
I was thinking taking a whooping like they took. They beat them by 20.
Yeah. Yeah. That Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and OKC is the number one team in the land for a reason. They are that good. They are talented. They have every part of a team that should be playing for a championship.
Yeah.
They have togetherness. They do interviews. They're all at the interview together post-game. They really enjoy being with each other. Those are the type of players and team. They saw what happened to them before. They remember last year when the hype was around them and they didn't show up. They're trying to show up. Now, you become the number one team. You get a team like Memphis as your first round. So be it.
Can't expect it.
And you should go out there and beat that team because you are the best team in the NBA record-wise. So I have no problem with that.
Oh,
Marcus,
we got company.
Marcus,
let the company in, baby.
Yeah.
It's also the disrespect that the Thunder are feeling this whole time because they play well all season. They're the best team in the league, and people are picking the Lakers. They're picking Golden State. They're not picking them. It's like you got an angry team and you making them more angry. It's just bad move, man.
Well, I also think the reason why you can say that teams are being picked over them is because of the performance that they gave you last year. I mean, I don't know. I guess I see things so much differently because of the fact that we've all been around it. You see teams like this that have the best of everything and not shown up.
Right.
So you look at LeBron and the Lakers.
They are making up for it this year.
Exactly.
Like, oh, yeah? We're last year's team?
Right.
Keep thinking that.
And that is why they became who they are. They had to go through hell or high water to now get to this point where they are being, as y'all say, not disrespected. But I think you have to earn that. LeBron James, champion, earn that. Giannis, earn that. Those are champions. So now you got to be able to come out there and make it happen.
You said hell or high water. Which one would you pick? They both sound pretty bad.
Well, I can swim. So I don't want to be in hell. As they say, you got two choices when you get in hell. Original or extra crispy. And I don't want none of that. I don't want no parts of that.
Oh, you got me.
Great. Another great World's Strongest Take brought to you by the World's Strongest Man. We'll close out the show and send you to Dan Patrick. You get a chance to win some tickets as well. Stick around right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The voice of the Horns. Craig Way on 1300 The Zone. Weekdays at 2.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
All lanes are closed down due to an accident on I-35 southbound at the Southeast Inner Loop. It's causing delays to start from the Northeast Inner Loop, and this same accident also closes down the right lane in the service road in the same area. You may want to hop over to 130 to get around these slowdowns. And looking onto 130 going northbound for a crash at Pierce Lane, blocking off the left lane. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
This is Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. Discover the true taste of Texas at Mom's Food, Smokehouse, and Delicatessen, where everything is handcrafted in-house, from the mustard to the bacon. Proudly featured in the inaugural Michelin Guide of Texas, they source the finest products from local producers. Visit us at 5811 Manor Road, Austin, Texas, or find them at your favorite farmer's market. Pre-order their barbecue today. Don't you keep the best delicatessen in Austin a secret. Tell them Mark Henry sent you.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
The 40s and Free Agents podcast with Daniel Jeremiah and Greg Rosenthal has prepared you for the 2025 NFL Draft.
We've told you what last year's playoff teams need to return to the postseason,
and how teams with new coaches should approach the draft.
So as draft season comes to a close, we've got you covered before your favorite team goes on the clock. We'll break it all down once all 257 picks have been made.
Listen to the 40s and Free Agents podcast on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow 40s and Free Agents and start listening on the free iHeart Radio app today.
If you're in the market for a wood fence for your home or business, Viking Fence is the right choice for you. Viking Fence has been in business for over 50 years and takes pride in being the most reliable fence company in Central Texas. Viking Fence does gorgeous work, from simple privacy fences to custom projects. Their quality is unmatched. Viking is the only fence company with their own facility where they custom cut red cedar, the most durable and attractive of fence materials, and offer 3 grades of fence pickets, one for every budget. Compare their lumber against the big box stores. And there is no comparison on quality and price. So whether Viking installs your fence or you're doing it yourself, Viking Fence will ensure your satisfaction. Excellent work, great service, and an honest reputation. Call Viking Fence today at 837-6411 for a free estimate, or visit their wood fence galleries at vikingfence.com. When you think fence, think Viking.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails and turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent four-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
You know, our city is growing. With more people moving to Austin, there's more traffic, more accidents, and more attorney advertisements. That makes choosing an attorney difficult, but it's an important decision after suffering an accident. This is where DJC Law stands out above the rest. With over 25 years of experience, their long-standing roots and customer-focused approach make all the difference. They've helped countless clients achieve the justice and the compensation they deserve, with over 1,000 5-star reviews to prove it. DJC Law is dedicated and will tirelessly fight the big insurance company tactics so you can focus on your recovery. Call 512-888-9999 24/7 for a free case evaluation. They can meet you in the office, at your home, or in the hospital, and you pay nothing unless they win. Injured? Call 512-888-9999. That's 512-888-9999 and get your justice. TeamJustice.com. DJC Law, principal office in Austin, Texas.
Hey, Austin, this is Cameron Parker with big news. 2024 savings are ending. Customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right. Customers in Texas saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040. Or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
Paying rent can feel like throwing money away. And when you're spending so much, it can be hard to see yourself buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is helping you put your monthly rent towards home ownership with Rent Rewards. For the first time, save up to $5,000 off the cost of your first home just by paying rent. Only at Rocket Mortgage. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature. It's like a car radio right on the app. There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts. I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio. Recent blast to savings. Specs. The fun starts here.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Horns.
If you missed any part of the show, get over to our podcast page, wherever you get your podcast. But, of course, you can get over to the new and improved iHeartRadio app or the AM 1300 The Zone and look for the morning kickoff. And over there, you will find that red microphone and do the same thing, because now is your chance to win a pair of tickets to go see Jason Aldean, August the 16th at the Moody Center. All you got to do is leave the keyword tractor. Tractor is your keyword for a chance to win a pair of tickets to go see Jason Aldean. Also, tomorrow we will be at Twin Peaks Round Rock location, getting ready for the NFL draft. And I'm excited about it because we had a great time last year. So it was so much fun. We get a chance to run it back again. Myself, Craig Way, Mark Henry, and Cam Parker. And you'll get a chance to meet Marcus as well. We'll be there from 2 till 6:45 as we lead into Round Rock Express and, of course, the draft.
They have really good wings there.
We know.
And you remember how many wings Jacob ate?
I did. I do remember.
I'm the one thing that I'm going to miss is Big Kenny this year.
Yeah. Well, Big Kenny, we will get a chance to remember Big Kenny tomorrow, as well as his celebration of life takes place tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So we'll be coming straight from there to get to the NFL draft party at, of course, Twin Peaks. But speaking of the Cowboys and their expectations, Micah Parsons met with the media yesterday at his celebrity home run hitting contest softball tournament, and he mentioned about the negotiations and his expectations.
Yeah, for me, it's all about, before, Miles and DeMar is challenging because you don't need to be there, right? The market set at 35, and then you kind of, it kind of backfires, because you look at the market and you see Miles go to Max goes in just 35 and a half, 36. And then you see guys that are older than you, and you can say that, your production and versatility matches what they're doing, and you say why I would say I'm more in my prime than a lot of these other guys, they're more in the second half of their career. So that's the challenging part, man, just getting fully about what's your worth. I don't really think it's about the dollar. I think about how someone It's all about how much you want to think you're worth. You know what I mean?
And you know that their negotiations are going to continue to happen. But we'll talk about the other contracts and everything else that goes into it. But I want you to hear Jerry Jones. Yesterday, Jerry Jones on 105.3, The Fan in Dallas. And our guy Clarence Hill asked the question about the GM for the Dallas Mavericks and the trade of Luka Doncic. And I want you to hear Jerry talking about this situation.
You kept this from me.
Well, that was part of what Jerry said.
Clarence Hill, DLS Cowboys, picking up here our nightmares and trading great players. How have you taken in the Luka trade and how that's transpired the last few weeks?
Well, I'm a fan of the Mavericks, big fan of the Mavericks, and consequently a big fan of Luka. The world knows that I've got my hands full thinking about what we think about over here, much less trying to figure out. I look at the Maverick through a very much entertainment eye. And I know Luka was a personal friend and watched a lot of games with us, and would hope that he would be able to watch some more games with us as we go along, know his family pretty well and his support staff pretty well. So all of that is just one as a fan. Now, Jane was all-state, scored 17 straight free throws in the state championship game. And Gene lives and dies with that basketball. And just cried when Luka left. But I understand that, and I understand, frankly, you say, how could that happen? I've got a little bit probably better understanding how something like that can happen.
Jerry just gave us his wife's stats and how many free throws she made. Jerry is the gift that keeps on
17 consecutive free throws in high school.
Jerry is the gift that keeps on giving. And I couldn't be more excited to hear what he's got to say tomorrow. I just cannot wait to see what the Cowboys do with their draft pick. At the number
literally
12.
hang on one of his words. Ridiculous.
It is awesome to hear. My wife made 17 straight free throws in high school as a shooter. But the fact that she cried, the fact that Jerry is a personal friend of Luka Doncic, and they watch
the team,
and they've watched games together. I guess Luka makes his point to be at a lot of Cowboy games, which most of those players do. We see Micah Parsons and a lot of other guys sitting front row at the NBA games.
Yeah.
It is crazy to think about all of this stuff and not just want to laugh.
Why Jerry couldn't just say, you know what, that's out of my.
Jerry's happy because he's not the worst GM in Dallas right now.
Wow, that's true.
He is living his best life. The funny part about it is,
thank you so much, Nico, for taking the heat off.
Exactly. You know, don't worry about what's going on over here. No contract negotiations for any of the Cowboys' top players. He hasn't started negotiations with Tyler Smith, DeRon Bland. He hasn't done anything yet with the players that he needs to do it with. You know why? Because it's not the Jerry way. He wants to be dramatic for it all. Make sure you get over to the podcast page. If you missed our guy, Danny Davis of the Austin American Spaceman, your boy Q Myers of ESPN, and of course, our guy Law Nation talking all things Cowboys. Get over there and get that. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Coach Schlossnagel, Charles Davis, and of course, Eric Henry of Horns 24/7. All right here on the Morning Kickoff. For Mark Henry, for Marcus, I'm Hardball Hardge. And just remember this, don't believe everything you see, because even salt looks like sugar. Peace. Hardball Hardge here. Spring is in full swing, so let's talk graduation gifts and summertime road trips. From sleek sedans to bold SUVs and tough Chevy trucks, Cover Chevy in Hutto is where it's at. Go see them for $4,000 off MSRP on a new 20